Since the tennis portion of the 2020 Tokyo Olympics is now at an unfortunate end, it goes without saying that fans are feeling a little bit under the weather at the moment. But as shocking as the tournament might have been with Novak Djokovic smashing his racket after the prestigious Golden Slam slipped from his fingertips, it could have been a lot worse. So what are the craziest tennis moments ever experienced in the history of the Olympic Games? And what was it about these moments that made them so memorable? Well, whether you're a sports fanatic or just want to know more about how insane tennis at the Olympics can be, stay right where you are, as we're about to explore some of the most shocking moments from the history of the star-studded event. So strap yourselves in and get ready for a bumpy ride, as things are about to get interesting. 1. The incredible run of Nicolas Massu in Athens. First up on our list is a couple of moments which saw tennis player Nicolas Massu make history at the Athens Olympic Games back in 2004. Although Massu wasn't exactly a professional player who seemingly came out of nowhere, he wasn't one that often found himself winning major tournaments, so fans didn't exactly expect much when he was selected to play in the doubles competition alongside Fernando Gonzalez. Slowly but surely, the duo made it to the finals though, surprising their home nation of Chile. This wasn't the best of it though. The men's doubles final was an epic battle that took over 3 hours to finish, resulting in Nicolas Massu taking home the gold medal alongside his tired teammate. If the thought that this was the end of things though, think again. The very next day, Massu went on to compete in the finals of the men's singles tournament, where the match lasted an incredible 5 sets. Through sheer determination though, Massu was able to defeat his opponent, Mardy Fish, who in an interview after the match said that he was surprised by Massu, who seemed to be getting better and better with each passing moment. Just like that, the Chilean tennis professional was able to walk away with 2 gold medals, making him an icon of the games for years to come. 2. The Golden Slam of Steffi Graf. The Seoul Olympic Games back in 1988 isn't just remembered for the unfortunate moment where the event organizers set a number of birds on fire. It was also the Olympic event that saw Steffi Graf etch her name into the history books, becoming the first woman to ever win all 4 Grand Slams in the calendar year. It got better for the German professional though, who was selected by her country to represent them at the Seoul Olympic Games. This places Graf in a pretty incredible position. If she were to win gold in the women's single event, she would achieve what is known to players as the Golden Slam, which is the pinnacle of success in the realm of professional tennis. Novak Djokovic, who is currently the #1 seed in the world, had this opportunity at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, but unfortunately failed due to the immense pressure that was on his shoulders. The same could not, however, be said for Steffi Graf, who went on to earn gold by beating Gabriela Sabatini in the women's singles finals. Better yet, she achieved this brilliant feat when she was only 19 years old, which is yet to be repeated by anyone that age. 3. The win that clinched the seed for Nadal. Another incredible moment that involved a legendary player of the game took place at the Beijing Olympic Games of 2008, which saw Rafael Nadal competing in the men's singles tournament with the intention of earning Spain's first gold medal in tennis. Everyone had their eyes on Nadal, who had previously won 7 titles before taking center stage at the Olympics, a feat that was impressive considering how the #1 seed at that time was none other than Roger Federer. But with talent and motivation that just couldn't be beat, Rafael Nadal went on to win gold with absolutely no problem, bringing the medal home to Spain for the first time ever. Even better, a thin tournament win saw 8 titles being attached to Nadal's name, and according to his statistics, launched him into the #1 seeded position, overtaking Roger Federer, who had spent a consecutive 237 weeks there. So when the Spanish professional broke down in a show of raw emotion, we knew precisely how much this all meant to him. It's a moment that every professional tennis player lives for, and every fan remembers fondly. 4. Henin's moment of recovery. Justine Henin was an incredible tennis player back in the day, who was selected to participate in the 2004 Olympic Games in Athens. But although she had already walked away with 3 Grand Slam titles before taking part, fans didn't want to expect too much of her. You see, Henin had actually been diagnosed with a really bad viral infection, which saw her achieving just 1 victory in the months leading up to the Olympic Games. Suffice to say, event organizers and fans of the sport knew that she wasn't at her best, hoping that she would be ready in the next few years to make a proper show of trying to achieve a gold medal. But Justine Henin had other plans and was sick of waiting. Despite her suffering from this viral infection and being labeled as the underdog of the women's singles tournament, she went on to make it to the finals, giving hope to her home country of Belgium. And this hope wasn't ill-placed, with Justine Henin later being crowned the winner at just 22 years old. In fact, she ended up beating fellow competitor Amélie Mauresmo in straight sets, showing just how determined she was to achieve Belgium's first gold medal at the Athens Olympics. Suffice to say, nobody doubted the young tennis player ever again. 5. The incredible tournament win of Jennifer Capriati, with Steffi Graf having achieved her miraculous Golden Slam at the previous Olympic Games, and having just won the tennis demonstration event. It goes without saying that tennis fanatics expected her to clean house when it came to the 1992 Olympic Games in Barcelona. But there was one competitor who wanted it more, and she just so happened to be a teenager. We are, of course, referring to Jennifer Capriati, who had already made waves by becoming one of the youngest players to ever walk away with 3 titles to her name. Nothing compared to Steffi Graf, of course, but an incredible feat all the same. So when the 16-year-old made it to the finals, everyone commended her for achieving silver, knowing full well that Graf was about to wipe the floor with her. The underdog did, however, go on to surprise everyone by giving Graf a run for her money, eventually defeating the world champion in a show of both beauty and grace. And in true underdog fashion, she secured this win by coming back from an early set down, bringing the gold home for the United States, considering how she was the youngest player to ever make it into the top 10 of tennis at only 14. Perhaps fans should have given her more credit. 6. The debut win of Andre Agassi. For those of you who don't know, Andre Agassi is regarded by many as being one of the best hardcourt tennis players the world has ever seen. But considering how he had never been selected for an Olympic event until the 1996 Atlanta Olympic Games, the tennis community didn't really know what to think. Whether he had the necessary big match temperament was something that had to be experienced and seen for itself, so it won't surprise you to hear that the spotlight was firmly placed on him when the men's singles tournament started out, and it didn't take long for Agassi to show that he had the stuff. He demolished the competition until only Sergio Bruguera stood in his way, wiping the floor with his competitor in a very straightforward final. This meant that Andre Agassi was able to take home gold in his first and only Olympic Games run ever, making it a moment that is definitely worth remembering. 7. Federer's Athens exit. As we mentioned earlier, Roger Federer was and continues to be one of the greatest tennis players of all time. Although he is already 39 years old, the man is still a force to be reckoned with. But back in the 2004 Athens Olympic Games came around, he was an immovable object that no other professional seemed to be able to get past. He had just won his first Australian Open earlier that year, along with the Wimbledon Championship just a few weeks later. So when it came to his stint in Greece, many expected him to walk away with the gold, no problem. Unfortunately for him, though, things didn't go quite as planned. In one of the craziest and most shocking Olympic tennis moments, the young 18-year-old Thomas Berdych came back from a set down and ended up taking Federer out of the competition, leaving fans wide-eyed and with their jaws on the ground. And to make things worse, Federer went to lose in the men's doubles competition on the very same day. Suffice to say, Athens was most certainly not his best Olympics run. 8. The Chilean controversy in Beijing. And last but not least, we have a moment that tennis fanatics would very much like to forget. In an epic semi-final battle between James Blake and Fernando Gonzalez at the 2008 Beijing Olympic Games, controversy came in droves. Blake was up 3 match points and would have won if it were not for Gonzalez touching the ball with his hand. But Gonzalez went on to proclaim his innocence, causing the match to continue. And wouldn't you know it, Gonzalez actually went on to win the match, beating James Blake in a massive upset. A later review of the video replays saw that Gonzalez had indeed touched the ball with his hand, making the win an illegitimate one. But that's just the way it goes, we suppose. What do you think about these crazy Olympic tennis moments, though? Be sure to let us know in the comment section down below.